So I'm here in the Fatso studios, off hours. You can't see now, but this is my garage. Got my fancy screen in the back, showing you my logo. So what am I doing? What am I doing with Fatso Radio? Here's a chance to tell you what I'm doing. So the whole idea of Fatso Radio, my whole purpose of Fatso Radio is to share with the world, share with my friends, share with my family, share with anybody who wants to listen what I've learned. Right? We've learned things. I've learned things the hard way. Some things the easy way, but most of the things I've learned through the hard way. Trial and error, making mistakes, trying every single diet under the sun. Literally, folks, I've tried every diet. If anybody's known me for a long time, you've known that I've been overweight my whole life. So it seems natural, and it shouldn't be a surprise that I have tried all these diets. So what am I getting to? Fatso Radio. Why is it called Fatso Radio? It's called Fatso Radio because I discovered, not on my own, but through knowledge, through reading, through other people's podcasts and books, that fat's not the enemy. Dietary fat is not the enemy, folks. We've been blaming fat. We've been blaming a high fat or a high cholesterol, even a high meat diet for many, many years for the reason of obesity in general, but just all of our health problems. We were blaming it all on meat. We really were. Maybe not everybody, but the big message for a long time was fat's the problem, meat's the problem, lower your fat, lower your cholesterol, and then lose weight. So you can lose weight on a low-fat diet. I'm not going to sit here and tell you can't lose weight, but are you going to do it well and effectively? I don't think so, and I don't think it's the most healthiest way to do it. So Fatso Radio. Fat is not the enemy, guys. Fat is not the enemy. In 2016, late 2015, I started the ketogenic diet. Before that, I was doing the paleo diet, basically, which is like try to eat like a caveman, removing your grains, removing your processed food. Okay. That worked for a little bit. At least I felt a little bit better. But in 2016 is when I really started the keto diet. What's the keto diet? Again, a low carbohydrate diet. What's carbohydrates? Sugars. Okay. We all know what refined sugar is. We all know what processed sugar is. Okay. Where's the other type of sugar? Your sugar and fruit. Fruit is mostly sugar, right? Vegetables have a lot of sugar as well, right? And then of course, candy and all that other junk. But keeping a low carbohydrate diet, keeping you or putting you into ketosis, whether it's all day long or whether it's just a little bit or a few times a day, has a lot of benefits. Ketosis means you're burning fat for fuel as opposed to glucose for fuel. A lot of benefits from that. One of the simple benefits is that you don't have to refuel all the time, right? We can't store carbohydrates in our body. We store a little bit, maybe 100 grams, maybe a couple 100 grams, store it as glycogen in our liver and our muscles, but that's not a lot of carbohydrates, right? That's not a lot of fuel. The best way to have your body running, in my opinion, and the opinion of a lot of other people, is to be able to burn fat for fuel. You want to burn both for fuel, right? You want to burn glucose for fuel and fat. But for a lot of people, we run into a situation where we don't burn fat for fuel, or we no longer burn fat for fuel, or we no longer do it as efficiently as we did when we were a kid, when we were a baby. And why? There's a lot of theories out there, but one of the theories that I think is valid or makes most sense is that if we kind of assault our body with a high carbohydrate diet for a long time, even for a little while, right? Our bodies oftentimes get really bad at burning fat for fuel. We just flip that switch. And then for a lot of times, or for a lot of people, we get into a state which is insulin resistance, right? If you have a high carbohydrate diet and you're always giving glucose to your system, you're always having glucose in your system, the result of that is that your body's always going to produce, high glucose in your system. The result of that is that your body's always going to produce insulin to counterbalance that. High glucose, high sugar in your blood is dangerous. We can die, folks. We can die from high blood sugar. So your body produces insulin to lower that blood sugar. Sugar is important. Glucose is important. Your body can use glucose, but too much of it is dangerous. So that's why we produce insulin. Many things that insulin does, but one of the things that insulin does is lowers your glucose level. How does it do that? It does that by shoving the glucose into fat cells, into your liver, or into your muscles, right? If you've just worked out, or if you've had a workout earlier that day and you've depleted that muscle glycogen, right? Or the sugar that's in your muscle, the sugar that's in your liver, then your body needs more glucose, and that's fine. You can eat more glucose if you need to, or you can just wait for your liver to actually produce it because your liver produces its own glucose. That's the thing, folks. But if you don't eat carbohydrates and you just rely on fat for fuel, that's a more sustainable diet. I'll tell you why. Not because it's easy to do, but because there's always animals around, right? There really is always animals around, and we've raised animals, and that's probably why we got into raising animals and herding animals, right? We always have a meat source around, always have a food source. So if you do that, and if you use fat for fuel and protein, of course, but the thing is, I want to get into that. Fat for fuel or glucose for fuel. That's a better fuel source. Protein is not a fuel source for the most part, right? Protein is used to build our muscles, build our bones, repair our body, repair all the organs, all the cells in our body. We need protein. If you choose fat for your fuel source, it's a cleaner burning fuel. You'll feel better. That's just my opinion. Again, this is the whole idea of what I'm talking about. I've lost over 110 pounds, 115, 110. I fluctuate a little bit. I'm on my way back down a little bit more now, I hope. But basically over 100 pounds by doing this. Folks, I've tried every diet. I've tried every diet. If you've known me, you know that yes, I love food. Yes, I've loved being lazy in my life. Yes, I've loved playing sports as well, being active and doing everything I wanted to do, jumping and dancing and cartwheels and all this stuff. So it's not the idea that I didn't want to do these things, right? Or I didn't have any ability or any drive or whatever. Is I got to a point where I was really overweight. It affected everything. My emotions, my intellect, affects everything, right? And it affects my motivation, my daily urges, or my daily just motivation to get up and go. So what's this podcast about? I just told you what's it about. Every single Friday, I try and come to you with either some advice from my own personal advice, some stories or some lessons I've learned, or an interview, right? A doctor, a butcher, a farmer. I've had all of those on, and I'm going to have more of them on. And I want everyday people just like me and you, whether you've been through a major weight loss and you have some advice, tell me. Maybe there's definitely things I need to learn, and I want to learn them from you. Or maybe if you're trying to lose weight, or you're just trying to get healthier, right? The Fatso radio, the ketogenic diet, or even a carnivore diet, which I'm kind of more into now, it's not just about weight loss. In fact, the deeper I get into it, the more I realize it's not about weight loss for me anymore. But yes, it was. So it's good for everything. It'll get you to the weight you want, but also help you. I really believe it'll help you fix any sort of ailments you have. I don't think it's a panacea, but at the same time, maybe it is. Removing all the crap and all the toxins and all the garbage from our life, sure, that is a panacea. Removing all the stuff and just live a natural life, I think that's probably the way to go. So what do I do? Every Friday I come to you with another episode. I'm always going to show you my sponsor, Volpe Martial Arts. I got it right here. KW's newest, hottest martial arts school. Check it out. Sifu Adam is my brother. Folks, I'm going to come to you every single Friday. Send me your messages. Send me your likes, your comments, whatever. If you do like it, thank you. Subscribe wherever that is. Get the notification, press on that notification. So every time I have a new episode, you get notified via email or whatever, however you get notified. If you want to be on the episode or if you want to be on the podcast, email me, fatsoradio@gmail.com. My name is Carlo Volpe. It's my pleasure to come to you every Friday. Really, it's a passion of mine. I'm going to do this forever. Whether anybody listens or not, I need to help people. I need to help people because I needed help and I still need help. And I find the best way to get help is to give help. And it takes a village, folks. It takes a village. And you're part of my village. I love you. Tune in to Fatso Radio every Friday or whenever you get it. Podcast, your podcast app, or YouTube. I love you all. Fatso Radio.